Hey everybody, this is Gus from Askewed Reviews. And at the beginning of this past year, I did a series where I went through my top 5 favorite horror films from every year since the year I was born. And now that it's January, I'm going to do my top 5 favorite horror films of 2024. So I'll be honest, it was extremely difficult to do it this time around because there were so many good horror movies in 2024. So after a bit of going back and forth, I have finally compiled my list. So here is my top 5 horror films of 2024. Number 5, Infested. This was a really good movie, especially if you like animal attacks. This one had spiders just everywhere, and as a person who's not really a fan of spiders, this just hit perfectly as to what I wanted out of something that was just creepy. Infested is in fact a foreign film, but I didn't have an issue with it. I can't remember if it was dubbed or if it was subbed, but either way, I still enjoyed it. For my number 4, I have The Substance. This was such a good body horror movie. If you like body horror, this really amps it up to like 11, and it's so much fun to watch. The acting was extremely well done in this, and in general, it was very different. It had something about it that didn't feel like just a regular movie. So I thoroughly enjoyed this one. Number 3 is Alien Romulus. So I've always been a huge fan of the Alien movies and the Predator ones as well, but especially the Alien films. And anytime a new one comes out, I'm definitely going to watch it. And in my opinion, Romulus was definitely better than all the ones connected to Prometheus. This movie takes place between the first and second Alien films, and it does feel like a movie that would fit within that time frame. And in general, it really did capture that kind of essence that those ones had. Now, I don't think it's as good as the first two Alien movies, but it still was fantastic. In my number 2 spot, we have Late Night with the Devil. So I thoroughly enjoyed this supernatural film. It's a period piece, and they did a very good job with that. The acting was done very well in this movie. I really enjoyed the story. Like, it was a bit confusing at moments, but I still followed it all the way through, and it just had such an odd, creepy atmosphere that really, really worked for it. And in my number 1 spot, I have Odity. This one is also another great supernatural horror. I thoroughly enjoyed this one because out of all of the movies I saw this year, this was probably the only one that did manage to kind of like creep me out a bit, at least a little bit, which is hard to do. Like, I love watching horror movies, but it's pretty rare nowadays where they can actually like get to me or make me scared or really get a good jump scare out of me. And this one did a pretty good job at some of those. So these were my top 5 favorite horror films from 2024. Let me know in the comments whether or not you agree or disagree, and of course, what your top 5 favorites were as well.